What up, squad? So look, this is a conversation between Willie and I. There were some rumors I seen in the comment section that he put on weight on purpose. So we addressed that. We addressed him not even having cake on his birthday. That level of dedication. We talked about what happens when he binges, and we also talked about why it's natural to put on weight after you lose weight. So without further ado, let's get right into this conversation with me and the boy back there. Say what up, bro.
Well, yo.
So this conversation is inspired by Dr. Z Poppy. He asks, I really wish Willie and Brix dove into the side of what drove Willie to slip up. Should we accept that when you lose a lot of weight, there at some point will be a relapse? And I'm for sure, like I talk about it all the time, like I gained 60 pounds, 70 pounds, maybe 4 or 5 times during the course of my entire weight loss journey. So like, I guess to answer the question, did you gain weight on purpose for content? I know a lot of people think like we probably staged all of this stuff, Willie, so that they can like, did you gain weight on purpose?
No. So, and I think to go into his like question a little bit more is like, I think weight regain is natural anytime you have like drastic weight loss. And I think what happens is a lot of people don't realize like my weight loss or my drastic weight loss was 5 years ago. So like 2017. So like even 2017, 2018, yeah, I had pockets where I would fluctuate up and down. But I think for the most part during that time, I was so like nervous about regaining weight that I had a quicker like leash, because like I was still learning my relationship with food or learning my discipline. So I think this go around, I think sometimes there's this idea or this like confidence level knowing like, hey, like I've done this for so long that you sometimes allow yourself a little bit more grace in your weight regain than you probably would when you first start your journey.
Pardon the interruption, but this video is sponsored by BrixTraining.com. I currently have online coaching slots available, so you want to grab one really quickly because my clients are absolutely killing it. And we're going to keep these transformations happening all 2023. I help make weight loss easy, and the secret is accountability. You get weekly check-ins, you get a custom workout plan, and I tell you exactly what to eat in order to reach your fitness goals. Go to BrixTraining.com, fill out the brief questionnaire to schedule your free discovery call today. The link is in the description. Do not procrastinate. These slots are going fast.
So, all right, you said it's natural to gain back a little weight, right? Why do you feel like it's natural?
Because, I mean, ultimately at the end of the day, there's sometimes you do things in your journey that are not as sustainable. And that's the thing that we always talk about, like sustainability. So to get down to certain levels, right? Like I went from 330 pounds to 170 pounds. So I was living a lifestyle that literally kept me away from 99% of like...
No social events, no holidays.
My own birthday, I didn't eat birthday cake. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was my kid's birthday.
That's dedication.
Yeah, my kid's birthday, I didn't eat anything. So like this was something that was like very innate to me. So those things are things that I knew long term that I would want to get back to, you know, being able to have a little bit more flexibility.
But let me be devil's advocate here. I don't think that level of obsession is required, because I don't want people to think that it takes you not having birthday cake on your birthday in order to lose weight. So you said because your transformation was 5 years ago, you now have a little bit more leash. You give yourself more leeway. And in the beginning, you were kind of nervous, right?
Absolutely.
Speak a little bit about that period of time where you were like nervous and that kind of kept you accountable.
Bro, I mean, I was so nervous to the point where like if I had a bad day, like if I binge, and this is stuff that we always talk about, don't do. Like I've done all of it. That's why I know I agree. Like when you talk about these things, like I would have like a day where I would go out, eat steak, or like have a nice day. The next day I would fast. I've had times where I would like literally fast a day. There'd be times where I would like, oh man, I had all this food last night, so I need to go spend 50 minutes on the Stairmaster.
So it was like almost like you were punishing yourself.
Yeah, I used to do that all the time. Like I already went through that season.
And that's unhealthy.
Very unhealthy. That was my first year after the weight regain. Like literally every time I would have a night, I would try to like catch back up the next day, right? And then, so I think this go around, like I think I was in a much more healthier space.
I remember being nervous as hell, and I think a lot of people can relate to this. Like initially, for like the first 6 months, there was no balance. Like you mentioned, you went a full year not deviating from your nutrition plan at all. I think that's amazing, bro. Like I don't know many people who has that level of discipline and focus. For me though, it would cause anxiety. Like when I thought about eating certain foods or being in certain social situation, it would cause anxiety, and it caused me to kind of just be a recluse. I like lock myself up. And I don't think that's the right approach either.
I did the same thing.
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know if I would go back and undo that.
Yeah, me too. Because I think through all those phases, I learned things about myself mentally. Like I learned stuff about who I was during that period outside of fitness. I learned like my own boundaries. I learned like, you know, my thoughts. I became more intentional about other things. And
yeah, I don't want to villainize or vilify, maybe is the word, obsession. Because I think there's an element, I don't know, you just, like you said, being in that space, you learn so much about yourself. You introduce yourself to versions of yourself that you would never otherwise meet. So I think there's value there, but going in with the intention and knowing that you may do things that are unsustainable, but I think it helps to know when you're doing things that are unsustainable. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I think knowing that, I'm going to do this, but this is not something that I'm probably going to be able to keep up. So how did you actually put the weight on? Like why? What changed in your life that allowed you to put that weight back on?
Yeah, I really think it was like 2022 was very like a transitory year for me. So a lot of like moving pieces, like where I live and then work. And I think there was a lot of things that kind of like I prioritized over my health and fitness, like just through life. And so I think just the idea of like fixing my food every single day, meal prepping, just became secondary. I ate out a lot more last year just due to like travel and stuff like that. So I just think life.
So I've seen you in lock-in mode and I've seen you in like lackadaisical mode. And I know they're polar opposites. Like when you lock in, you lock in. Do you feel like having more balance in general will help you not put on 30 pounds every year?
Yeah, 100%. I think, but for me though, for me personally, like being locked in is locked in other areas of my life. Like when I look for like to be
so it's a whole mental state that affects not just weight loss or not just your physique, but work.
And I personally enjoy structure and I enjoy discipline. And I think sometimes with nutrition, I like the idea of being disciplined. Even if it's not just for the physical part. Balance, I do think, and I think that's why I think you should have seasons. I think if you have seasons, it creates balance because you'll know that there'll be a season for that. But like right now, like in the season of like where I'm at in my life, like mentally, physically, spiritually, I love the season of discipline and routine and really like challenging myself to be better. And sometimes I feel like the two are connected. If I'm not like really disciplined in my personal life, my nutrition represents that. If I'm really disciplined, I'm getting up when I need to, I'm focused at work, I'm taking care of all the extracurriculars, working on the business and stuff like that, the nutrition actually becomes easier because you have all these other things that's going on. You're not food focused. A lot of times we make mistakes in being food focused when we have idle time. So to me, they're connected. So I don't know. My idea of balance is seasons.
So and that's really interesting because my idea of balance is a little bit different than your idea of balance. And that goes to show that balance looks different for every person. For you, balance means, okay, you have this season where you're locked in, and then you have this season where you're not as super duper meticulous.
You're literally like picking the harvest of the discipline season.
And for me, balance is more like, hey, I want to be kind of in the middle always. Right. Never fully locked in where I'm like, it feels restrictive, but never like to the point where it's a free for all. Right.
Sometimes for me, it's like we always have like certain disciplines that we stand on that helps feed other disciplines. Mine just happened to be nutrition.
And that kind of lends to the concept of like how you do anything is how you do everything. Right. So a lot of those principles apply to other areas of your life because normally if you're struggling with your finances, like it's almost like I always see it hand in hand. People who are like overweight are typically struggling in their finances or struggling in their careers, right? Because the discipline across the board is lacking.
Like think about it, and I'm sure somebody in the comments can give us one, but that's why like with real big Fortune 500 companies, if you look at the CEOs, none of them are overweight.
They're all fit. That's a fact. Damn. They have
some type of like health routine. Matter of fact, they have people on the staff that make sure that those guys, are getting workouts and making sure that they're healthy. These guys are like literally represent the company. Imagine this, if Elon Musk dies tomorrow, Tesla stock falls X%. So you don't think that those guys are making sure that guy can stay upright?
And I think that's a good perspective because now we can attach how we treat ourselves to more than just our physical appearance, right? It's connected to how successful you are as a father, as a businessman, as an employee, as whatever, right? Whatever hats you wear, how you do everything is how you do. How you do anything is how you do everything. So you're a little over a week into your cut. How are you feeling? How are things going?
It feels like when a toddler gets on like a bike and there's like training wheels and you're putting one leg on one training wheel and the one leg on the other training wheel and you're just trying to get balance.
Yeah,
that's how I feel, like pedals. So it's like,
you're like
calibrating. Yeah, I'm calibrating, I'm wobbling. So this last week in the gym has just been like, just making sure that I'm like locked in.
One thing that you do, and I think is really important to share, you start off slow with your cardio.
Oh, very slow.
Yeah.
I did one session last week, and that was it.
Quick explanation of why you start off slow with your cardio.
Because I want to be able to like make progressions as I like my like weight loss starts to stall. I think we said it on the last video, and this is like a major key. And I know it's hard. I know it's hard. The goal really is to eat as much as possible and do as little as cardio as possible. Like that is like the ideal state. Like if I could get to 170 by just eating, you know, as many calories as possible.
Now, when he says as much as possible, he means while still being in a slight deficit, right? But if you maintain your weight at 2,500 calories, you don't want to start off your diet eating 1,700 calories. You want to maybe do like a 300 calorie deficit. So eating as much food, and that way there's room to adjust your calories. And then with starting off with little cardio, there's room to add cardio. But
absolutely. And this is the one thing that people don't realize, like with cardio, and this is something to think about. Our bodies naturally know how to adjust for like being intense in cardio. So like if you're doing cardio every single day, it may actually change the way you move at home. You may become more sedentary at home because you're doing all the work in the cardio. So
it also stimulates your appetite.
Absolutely.
Sometimes. Like you're doing a bunch of cardio, you may be hungrier and eat more, which offsets, you know, kind of defeats the whole purpose.
Yeah, so like for me, it's like I said, it's like really falling in love with the gym and doing things like I say, like that I love. So like for me, like if I just jumped out and did cardio like 5 days a week, it's gonna send signals to my brain like, man, do you really want to do this? I want to be in the gym. I want to fall in love with the process. Like each day, I just want to love going to the gym. And then as I bring in cardio, I'm gonna, you know, bring that tool in my tool belt. And I even like have a different mindset of my cardio this go around. Is like in the past, cardio was definitely used for fat loss, but as we think about like as we get older, we think about like heart health. Think about like just men out there getting our blood flowing to the right places. Like those things, cardio is a big piece of that. So like we want to make sure that we look at cardio as the win, as like, hey, like how it creates vitality in other spaces in our lives. Yeah,
your why. Like thinking, reframing cardio as, instead of it being this punishment for fat loss, as an investment into your vitality and in other areas.
Yeah, 100%. That's big. I mean, a lot of the guys that watch the channel, like, you know, again, we still want to have high levels of intimacy, and we need blood flowing in the right areas.
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right, bro. Appreciate you, man. We're gonna keep this series going, bro. But I see you locked in, man. Christmas. Hold on, before we end, bro. Christmas party at the crib, bro. He's sitting here. Matter of fact, you made your French toast. Everybody else was indulging. Homie was locked in, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
It's amazing to witness it, bro.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Peace.